So what's up guys, it's your boy Top Supreminous. Today we'll be reacting to Can I Escape Every Soul. If you have seen the Soul movie, the one that actually your head gets ripped apart, everything, that's the video we'll be reacting to. If you enjoyed this video, if you're new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more of these reactions, also subscribe, comment down below other reactions that you want me to do. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so please subscribe. Let's start the video.
Have you ever watched a Saw movie and thought, I wonder how I would do if I was ever in a Jigsaw trap? You probably have. I think I can safely say the majority of us have had this cross our minds at least.
Honestly, there was a time I was watching that movie. There was this part where you had to either cut off a piece of your meat and you put it somewhere in a jar, or your head gets. I was like, yo, would you survive? I think I would. Yeah, I think I would, because hey, yo,
a few times when watching these movies. I already know how I would do. I would fucking die. You want me to cut a key out of my eye to unlock a mask that will crush my face? Oh, what's that? I have 60 seconds? Yeah, fuck. For those of you that don't know, the main premise of the Saw movies are people who don't value their life or have done some shady shit get put in these traps called tests, and they have to overcome something incredibly painful to have a new profound appreciation for living. And with 10 movies spanning over the course of the last 20 years, it's a lot of traps. So for today's video, I'm going to be ranking every trap from Saw 1 to Saw 10. And as a bonus completely free to you, I'll be providing my top tier commentary on how I would personally fare in each one. Hopefully everyone at home can agree with how we'd really do in this shit. Except people that say they fall asleep when they get tatted, bro. Not you. You don't get to play. The rankings are GG easy for traps that I think have a high probability of escaping or are kind of lame. That's going to leave a scar, with traps that will leave you with a rather life-altering disability. This is bullshit for traps that are well fucking unfair. Amanda. And I'm dead, which is pretty self-explanatory. Disclaimer. This tier list template is something I made on my own, so I will only be ranking the main plot traps, none of the obscure traps, B-story tests, or any of the M. Night Shyamalan twists. So pretty much nothing from Saw 4. And I will try my absolute best to show as much as I can without getting blasted by YouTube, but obviously there are scenes that I can't show entirely. Alright, we have a lot to get through. So let's begin.
Let's begin and subscribe.
First up is the original Saw trap. I guess we'll call this the bathroom trap. Two guys named Adam and Dr. Gordon are chained to two pipes across the room from each other. They both find shitty hacksaws, and Dr. Gordon has to find a way to kill Adam before 6 p.m. or his family's gonna get clapped. So the trap is they're got the salt through their ankle in order to get free.
If it was you, would you cut off your arm? Was it like your joint, your limb, in order to escape? Then afterwards, you have to kill your friend in order to save your family. I think it's a test of morals also, because yo, that's crazy. But I think if I was in a Saw movie, of which I don't want to be in one, so please, I think I would. But yo, that it's gonna be painful. You don't have any like pain resistant drugs. You have to cut off your leg just like that. The pain itself, plus the bleeding. I think you'll bleed to death, honestly. I don't think you can even survive. Yeah. But let's see.
I'm gonna put the bathroom trap in. That's gonna leave a scar. You got your family on the line, do nothing about it, and you'll just rot in a poop dungeon? Yeah, I think if you could endure the pain and just go off of pure adrenaline, this could be achievable. All right, the flammable jelly trap. This one actually just pisses me off. This guy was injected with some type of poison, and the antidote was locked in a safe in the middle of the room, and he has to guess a combination with an entire room covered in numbers, with thousands of possibilities. Using a candle as his only source of light while covered toes to titties in fire jelly. And as an extra fuck you, the floor is just covered in glass. They could have just gave the dude the trap of just trying to guess the combination before the candle runs out, and he still would have been cooked. This trap is bullshit, so that's where it goes. Moving on, which we're introduced to Amanda Young, which we'll be seeing throughout some of the other Saw movies, and she is.
But I feel like you have to be. Oh yeah, now this one is what I was talking about. But I feel like you have to be so mentally tapped in order to even come up with such ideas. Because bro, how are you going to sit down, just see someone try to do something that is so fucking impossible, and then if they don't do it, they're dead. Like, yo! That's a psychopathic move.
Bear trap. Amanda has 60 seconds to remove this rig off of her head.
I remember this, like, her head was split open. I was like, yo,
head, or the trap will pretty much rip her face open from the mouth. The key to this trap is in the stomach of some random dude on the floor, and she's given a scalpel to cut it out, then free herself. I think this is a huge missed opportunity by the writers to make this random person someone she knew, like a friend or a family member. Being that she has no real skin in the game in that department, she obviously escapes. Now, I'm probably going to get shit for this, but it may just be the nostalgia or simply the appreciation of the original film, but I feel most people give this trap way too much credit. And for that, it's going in GG easy. Big disclaimer here, the next trap I'm going to be ranking discusses self-harm. If this is something that's sensitive to you, please skip ahead with the timestamp below. The next trap is the wire maze.
Yeah, skip ahead.
It's just like most things from the early 2000s, aged like...
But we ain't weak, man. We ain't weak. We're gonna watch it. And you're gonna subscribe.
milk. This guy is put in a maze riddled with barbed wire. He's here because he apparently self-harms and takes his life for granted. So he has 2 hours to traverse the maze or the room steals forever. Now this trap is tricky because...
Now imagine, you know? I feel like if you're into self-harm and you want to, like, let's say commit a suicide, and then, you see, you fail to do it, then someone puts you in a situation where eventually you're going to die. I still wonder how does it like change your mentality? Because at first you're willing to die. You're willing to kill yourself. But then now, you're put in a situation where you're going to die if you don't do something. Was the main point not dying? Or was the main point dying? You find people like now wanting to live longer, fighting for their lives. Bro, come on. Don't do any self-harm to yourself. If you're going through something, man, talk to someone. I'm here. Comment down below. Yeah.
They don't fully see the layout due to it being a flashback, but pretty much this guy goes into complete fuck-all meltdown and just charges through the wire and bleeds out. I think given the incredibly generous 2-hour window, you could probably find a way through this, and that's even accounting for if you took a 20-minute break for a panic attack before starting. I know I'm probably going to slice up my B-cups, but I think this is still doable. And for that reason, it's going to go in, that's going to leave a scar. I only want to talk about this last trap as an example of the obscure non-main traps, so going forward you'll understand why I'm not including them. Our detectives find this guy strapped to a chair with 2 drills that will pierce the skull after X amount of time. It seems like they stumbled upon Jigsaw before this was finished. We don't know much about the person in the chair, so yeah, not really going to rank this kind of stuff. And that is Saw 1. So far we've only gotten really fucked by 1 trap, so that's pretty good. Woo! Moving on to Saw 2.
For me, I think I'll be fucked by 2. No homo though. Yeah, by 2. Pause.
With these kind of movies like Saw, Final Destination, even like Terrifier, I feel that after each installment, the bar just has to get higher and higher for these types of things. Because boy, let me tell you, this first trap is the one I mentioned earlier, and f*** this. My man has 60 seconds to remove a death mask device, and the key is surgically placed behind his eye. I don't understand how he went from a 2-hour window in the maze to cutting your eye out in 60 seconds. It would take me 60 seconds alone to try to get the key in the hole. Have you ever tried to plug anything into a USB port in the back of your computer without looking? Yeah, fucking right. I'm dead. Moving on. Now in Saw 2, the games are a bit different as...
What do you think? Would you survive that? Now you have to cut off your eye, get the key. I honestly don't think I'll survive that. I will die. Because I remember when I got this car, bro, it was the painful thing ever. Like, now imagine cutting off your eye. To get to, oh my days, nah. I'm dead also. I'm dead.
As there's multiple people unwillingly participating, pretty much they're locked in a house, I guess, and they have 2 hours to find the antidotes before the nerve agent kills them. But technically, I guess our next trap is the Magnum peephole trap. Jigsaw literally says, yo, don't use the key on this door, which based on my knowledge seems to be the only way to open the door, though. Where this dumbass messes up is deciding to put his face anywhere near the door when it's getting unlocked. If this is the only key that opens this door to reveal the rest of the tests, and the gun has to fire around to open, I think take your time and literally move as far as humanly possible away from the door when unlocking. This should be kind of easy. I would survive this. The furnace trap. As mentioned earlier, more dumbass ensues. There are 2 antidotes in the back of this furnace, and to retrieve them, you have to pull on a lever which is tied to the furnace door. After seeing a guy just get his head blasted off, you'd imagine you would scope everything out this time around, or at the very least, make sure that the door...
I honestly don't think, like, in that situation, you're panicking. So, I don't think you have the luxury to be so careful and to actually scope around before you do something, because time is running out. You're in somewhere like you don't know. You're going to die. Like, you see, I think it's more of panic because your brain goes to panic mode and then you forget about other crucial stuff. Yeah.
door doesn't close. However, the guy goes in, yanks the chain, door closes, and now the fire turns on. But Jigsaw even shows you a valve that I would assume turns off the flames. Like, bro, it's right there. Burn yourself a little bit, turn it off, or just die in there like a pussy. I don't understand. There's just so many things that people could have done to prevent this. It's mind-numbing. This trap is going in, that's gonna leave a scar. If closing the door is the only way to get the antidote, I feel like I could roast some pubes in order to get the valve off. That's just me, though. The needle pit. Yeah, this one's really gross. This trap is literally a needle in a haystack in this ginormous pit of needles.
No, this is painful. This one is painful, not gonna lie.
Is one with the antidote and a key which unlocks the room in which they have 3 minutes to find. This trap was supposed to be Xavier's, but he just yeets Amanda in because, well, he's a piece of shit. She starts frantically swiping through the needles, which absolutely makes my skin crawl. It eventually does find it, but it just wasn't in enough time. Now, going into this thing, you gotta expect that the antidote to be at the very, very bottom somewhere. So you're gonna have to dig, but like no one could throw her a jacket, a pair of shoes, anything to protect her. Also, that key is attached to an antidote. Unless I'm a dumbass, I saw no one use it. But yeah, this trap is absolutely disgusting. I couldn't do it. I'm putting this in. I'm dead. All right, the last official trap
Honestly, I don't think I'll survive.
of Saw 2 for me is going to be the razor box. There's just so many things dumb about this one. I'm not sure if she just mentally cooked because of the poison, but she just dives right into the box of razor cuffs without 1, listening to the tape, or 2, scoping it out first. I'm also pretty sure she could have used one hand to grab a needle and the other one to keep the cuff open. You're obviously going to get cut, but not nearly as bad as she does. This trap is dumb. It's going in GG easy. So that pretty much wraps up Saw 2. I know that the entire nerve agent house is a trap in its own, but ultimately it's there to capture Detective Matthews. I think the cleverness of this trap as a whole is pretty cool, and this is why...
Okay, what do you think? Like, do you think we'll survive that? Like, or out of all those traps, which one do you think will survive? Comment down below, bro. Yeah, I can't wait to see the comments because I think for the antidote one, where you have to dig through the pit of, oh my days, I don't think that's gonna be painful and it's gonna be hard to find. Damn. I think I'd survive that. But then this other one for the furnace, where you have to switch off, like use something to maybe pour water into you. I think I'd survive that also. But the other ones, nah, I'm dead.
Saw 2 is probably my favorite in the franchise, but we gotta keep chugging. Saw 3 opens up with yet another super fucked up one. Again, raising the bar. This guy has chains lodged throughout his entire body, with one of them being in his jaw. His jaw, brother! It has roughly 2 minutes to remove them all, and I'm guessing just get to cover before this nail bomb goes off. 2 of these chains are attached to what appears to be his Achilles tendon, so you're just automatically fucked there. This trap is just bullshit, which makes sense because
Honestly, that's something I can survive. Bro. Hey yo.
Amanda is the one creating these when Jigsaw is getting medical treatment. So there you go. Me personally, I would die. There's no way I'm doing this. Next up is the ribcage acid key trap. I'll save us some time here. She has to reach into a tub of acid to retrieve a key that is slowly dissolving. She gets the key out relatively quickly and unlocks herself, but she has like the device break to her ribcage and has to pull them out herself. It's just a scam. Amanda sucks. This is going into the bullshit category. In Saw 3, they decided to go with a plot A, plot B type of movie. One path follows a neurosurgeon captured by Amanda to try to cure John Kramer's brain cancer, and if his heart stops, then a shotgun necklace blows her head off. Speaking of which, I'm just going to put that in the bullshit category as well. In the second plot follows a father named Jeff who lost
I don't think I will even survive that.
his son due to a drunk driver, where parties involved are rigged into traps, and Jeff has to essentially decide how it goes. Kind of a weird thing to like try to rank, but I'll give it my best go. The first Jeff test has a woman who witnessed the accident but refuses to testify, strung up in a freezer where she periodically gets squirted with water. She's butt-ass naked, titties out. I cannot show this on YouTube. Jeff has to essentially reach for a valve that cuts off the water, but his face has to touch frozen pipes. Other than that, the trap seems pretty simple. Lose some skin in your face to save a person's life? I know that he's grieving, but she's technically innocent. This is going in, that's gonna leave a scar. Spoiler, she dies. The next Jeff test has the judge from his son's trial locked to the bottom of this like poop chute where gross ass pigs get grinded up and spit into this container. If enough pig guts goes into the chute, the judge will suffocate, and all Jeff has to do is burn his son's toys and photos. I can totally understand the hesitation and being overwhelmed with the emotions of this, but other than that, this trap is pretty.
What do you mean being overwhelmed? Bro, I'll burn them down. We can buy new ones, man. I will burn them down. My son can go fuck himself, man. Because honestly, I have to burn your toys so that I can save a life. Bro. Why you cry? Why you cry? Go to sleep. Like, yo. Honestly, I'd burn them down and then I'm going to buy new ones. So, yeah. It's a win-win situation.
Damn easy. With that said, Pick Poop Shoot goes into GG Easy. This last trap is gnarly. The rack. Jeff's final test is to free the man who was responsible for the drunk driving accident that killed his son. This guy's limbs are placed in a medieval-inspired rack that continuously twists, and the key to stopping this device is on the trigger of a shotgun. Bad stuff. However, based on what happens in the movie, you have the option to pull the key immediately, which releases a shell, or take your time and untie the string, which leads to this guy suffering more. Either way, the shotgun seems to have a hairline trigger, because it still goes off. If you're going through the test as the trap was intended, you're going to lose a hand, maybe even your life. And what happens if the key gets caught in the blast? I consider making a category just for the rack, because the entire thing is so insane, but I think I have to put it in This Is Bullshit.
I don't think I've watched that movie.
I know I said this earlier, but I am sweating. I have 1,000 lights on in this room. For every like on this video makes my AC blow colder.
I only have 2 lights in this. Oh, I have 3. This one, this one, this one. 3 lights. Yeah. Trying to improve on this production.
Please, Jesus.
Tell me
Moving on
what
to
you
soft
think about it.
and this is the reason as to why I didn't want to provide a full synopsis of these movies, because they kind of start going downhill from here, to be honest. Saw 4 opens up with 2 guys chained to a device that will crush them inside a very cool looking mausoleum. One of them has their eyes sewn shut and the other has his mouth sewn shut. The premise here is they aren't able to communicate, and each person has a key on the back of their collars. This trap is cool on paper, but in reality there is no reason as to why both guys shouldn't be able to escape here. Obviously the guy with his mouth sewn shut has the advantage, but there are like sharp tools everywhere around the area. He could have used one to like cut his stitches, and at the end he forces his mouth open anyway. Like, bro, you could have done that from the start, explain what was going on, and probably save both you guys. This trap is going in GG Easy. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I wouldn't be taking much time on Saw 4 for a couple of reasons. The main character we follow in this movie is Officer Rigg, and to be completely honest, he is more of an observer in the rest of the movie's traps. And Saw 4 touches on multiple situations that could be triggering for some viewers that I think ultimately it's best just to skip. L movie anyway.
Okay, I think, honestly, if I was in a Saw movie, or in a life or death situation like that, I'd survive some of those, but some of those also would leave a permanent scar, like, or you can even lose your life or your limb. But yo, what do you think, guys? If you were in a Saw movie, would you survive any of those attacks, any of those traps? And if not, subscribe. If yes, like the video. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers. Adios, muchachos.